and car crashes are down in Dalton, and Dalton Public School starts back next week. Ahead of that, Superintendent Stephen Kraft updates the community on summer and upcoming programs. Hi, I'm Adrienne Orell, and you're watching North Georgia News Now. Thank you for tuning in. Other topics we'll dive into today include what you need to know about the upcoming Whitfield-Barnell-Murray Planning Commission meeting, the Humane Society of Northwest Georgia's Pet of the Week, Georgia News, and more. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 2 minutes, right after your local weather, which starts now.
Today's local weather is brought to you by Build Well Bait.
First up, crime in almost every major category was down for 2024 through the month of June in Dalton compared to the 5-year average, according to a report by Charles Oliver of the Daily Citizen News. Additionally, Oliver reports that vehicle crashes are also down. This information comes from data presented to the city's Public Safety Commission. Commission members oversee the city's police and fire departments. There have been 384 Part 1 crimes, such as homicide, motor vehicle theft, and burglary through June, compared to 454 in the same period in 2023 and to the 5-year average of 461 for that period. There have been 2,064 Part 2 crimes, such as fraud, vandalism, drug possession, and drug sales, down from the 5-year average of 2,551. There were 30 violent crimes through June, down from 34 in the same period in 2023, and from the 5-year average of 45 for that period. Violent crimes include homicide, rape, robbery, and aggravated assault. There are 354 property crimes, down from 429 in the same period in 2023, and the 5-year average of 417 for that period. There were no homicides through June, which was unchanged from the same period in 2023. 7 sexual assaults were reported through June, down from 12 in the same period in 2023. 4 robberies, up from 3. 39 burglaries, up from 21. 19 motor vehicle thefts, down from 24. And 17 aggravated assaults, which was unchanged from the same period in 2023. There were 102 vehicle crashes in June, down from 118 in the previous month. Year to date, there have been 695 crashes, down from 712 in the same period last year. In June, Dalton police officers responded to 27 crashes with injuries. Those crashes resulted in 39 people injured with no serious injuries and no fatalities. Following too closely played a role in 23 crashes, followed by failure to yield, which played a role in 22. Sundays had the most crashes with 21, followed by Saturdays with 18. Fridays had the fewest crashes with 8. The periods from 11 a.m. to 1:59 p.m. and 4 to 6:59 p.m. were tied for the most crashes with 26. Walnut Avenue had the most crashes with 18, followed by Chattanooga Road with 10. The Dalton Police Department responded to 8 crashes on I-75. Assistant Police Chief Chris Croson said that the Whitfield County Sheriff's Office has handled the initial response to crashes on I-75, handling traffic control and other matters until the Georgia State Patrol can arrive. But the Sheriff's Office has asked the Police Department to handle the initial response to crashes on the section of I-75 within the city limits. The Dalton Fire Department answered 332 calls in June, according to the data presented to the Commission. Of those, 182 were medical. 13 calls were for motor vehicle wrecks with injuries, and 4 were for motor vehicle wrecks with no injuries. 1 was to remove someone from a stalled elevator. 35 calls were canceled while firefighters were on their way. From all of us at North Georgia News, a huge thank you for serving our community and helping to reduce area crime and accidents. In other news, school will be starting on Thursday, August 8th for Dalton Public School students, and Superintendent Stephen Kraft said that 7,635 students are currently enrolled. Even so, Kraft said he expects anywhere from 50 to 75 additional students to enroll in the days leading up to opening day. The following report is by Brady Hicks of the Daily Citizen News in Dalton. According to Hicks, 7,776 students were enrolled at the beginning of the 23-24 school year. His information comes from the Georgia Department of Education. During last week's Dalton Board of Education meeting, Superintendent Kraft provided updates focusing on the summer programs. Kraft stated that 91 students participated in summer school, 15 from the Dalton Academy and 76 from Dalton High School. Kraft added that the school system provided professional development training for faculty during the summer, including the rollout of the Dalton Reads Initiative, including the Savas curriculum. In May, board members approved the purchase of core literary curriculum from Savas's My View Literacy and My Perspectives, programs for $1.647 million. According to Director of Literacy, Allie Finley, leaders and faculty participated in a kickoff event on July 16th, when Savas representatives provided initial information and training. Kraft said the system also recently held a pre-kindergarten and summer transition program. The program takes place over a 6-week period, and it serves 36 rising pre-K students and 42 rising kindergarten students. The focus is on language, literacy, and math, but it also includes some STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, art, music, and physical education. Kraft said the system hosted weekly parent workshops for incoming students. At last week's board meeting, members voted 4-0 to approve a second guaranteed maximum price amendment to the renovation project at Roan School for $3.707 million. Chief Financial Officer Teresa Perry said that involves the project's electrical package, including the installation of new wiring and electrical equipment. Board members previously approved an amendment in March due to the long lead times necessary to order and receive needed equipment. The previous amendment was for $3.26 million. Perry said contractor Reeves Young, headquartered in Sugar Hill, anticipates 3 amendments before the renovations are finished. Board Chair Matt Evans said that the approved amendment will be coming out of EastBLOST. That is the Educational Special Purpose Location Option Sales Tax. Director of Operations Rusty Lount said that the final amendment is expected to be voted on later this fall. Renovations are expected to start sometime in the early spring of 2025. Here's an announcement. The Dalton-Varnell-Whitfield County Planning Commission will meet on Monday at 6 p.m. in the Whitfield County Board of Commissioners meeting room in the county courthouse. One of the responsibilities of the Planning Commission is to make recommendations to the city councils of Dalton and Varnell on zoning matters. Several requests have been made by various citizens and by JFP Properties groups. If you wish to attend, the courthouse is located at 205 North Selvage Street in Dalton. Allow me to introduce you to the Humane Society of Northwest Georgia's Pet of the Week. Meet Glacier, a handsome boxer lab mix. Volunteers say he's a great boy who deserves a home of his own. Glacier loves playing with his shelter buddies and splashing around in the pond. He enjoys the attention of shelter volunteers, but is expected to thrive with a new forever family. If you're considering adding to your family, or if you're just taken by this handsome boy, I encourage you to go meet him. The Humane Society of Northwest Georgia is open for tours and adoptions on Fridays from 3 to 5 p.m. and on Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. The shelter is located at 1210 Veterans Drive in Dalton. You can go to hsnwga.org to apply for a dog or cat, or to fill out an online application to volunteer. When we come back, it's Georgia News, but first, the obituaries. Welcome back to North Georgia News Now. Let's turn stateside. Starting with, Georgia has eliminated African American history courses from high schools. With school due to start back up in a few days, some educators are questioning the state's decision to eliminate an advanced placement African American studies class from high schools. Some critics say the decision smacks of politics. According to reporter Doug Richards, word of this slipped out when Gwinnett County school officials abruptly announced that they had to pull an AP African American Studies class that had been on the books for over 200 students and teachers this fall. Advanced Placement, or AP, means students can use the class to obtain college credit. Central Gwinnett High School teacher Mallory Fannin said that she feels she has wasted her time as she spent an entire week this summer preparing to teach the classes. Additionally, over $900 was spent for Fannin to attend training. The class went away after the state abruptly pulled funding for it. The Georgia Department of Education, or DOE, says the AP African American History course was a limited-time pilot course that concluded last school year. Superintendent Richard Woods opted not to recommend this course for state approval at this time, according to a DOE spokeswoman, without further explanation. In the last 2 years, Republicans at the state capitol have openly resisted diversity-driven school curricula. State Senator Greg Dozel of Cumming said the classes are a litmus test that asks you to subscribe to, essentially, the woke agenda that's part of the battle faced in education all over the country. A state DOE spokeswoman noted that several African American Studies course remain funded in Georgia high schools, even with the removal of the pilot Advanced Placement African American Studies course. Over at Okefenokee Swamp, gators are everywhere, and the mysterious mass gathering is being investigated. Here's the story as reported by Georgia's Public Broadcasting's Mark Price. A rarely witnessed congregation of American alligators was recorded in southeast Georgia's Okefenokee Swamp, and researchers are trying to figure out why it happened. Video of the terrifying mass gathering was shared on July 16th on Facebook by boater Marty Welch, and it has been viewed more than 415,000 times as of July 23rd. The video shows Welch and a frightened companion surrounded by alligators in a narrow canal, and the reptiles were packed so tightly that they could be seen crawling atop each other in the water. Welch, who lives in nearby Fargo, estimated as many as 60 were in the water and more sat on the bank, but experts believe that the numbers were much higher. The University of Georgia's Marine Extension and Georgia Sea Grant saw the video, and they have begun an investigation into what drew so many alligators to one spot. Researchers went out to try and see for themselves and to document the event, but were a bit too late. While they didn't see the actual congregation, they were able to see the aftermath, which was about 150 alligators over a mile and a half in Billy's Lake. Those alligators were counted by PhD student Mark Hoog, who took a boat out to the remote spot. Such congregations are a fairly rare event and involve large numbers of alligators cramming themselves into a small area. Hoog said in a video posted on Facebook. Hoog said researchers aren't sure why this happens, but they've noticed it happens during periods of low water, so he believes it has to do with resources. It could be a feeding event that is triggered during this low water when there's not a ton of resources, he said, adding that 150 alligators in a 1.5 mile area is a lot of alligators. Alligators are native to Okefenokee Swamp, 353,981 acres of which is protected as a national wildlife refuge. It's estimated that about 15,000 alligators live in the murky water, according to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Males are known to be highly territorial, which adds to the mystery of why so many went to one spot, experts say. And while we're on the subject of wildlife, here's a picture of a black bear that was taken from a window at the home of Troy and Juanita Hall of Dalton this week. The area on Dugout Mountain where the Halls live is home to a variety of wild animals, including foxes, coyotes, beavers, wildcats, deer, and more. If you should encounter a black bear, bearwise.org recommends that you never approach it. Instead, slowly move away. If the bear follows, make yourself look big. Make loud noises and clap your hands as you continue to back away. When we return, I'll be here to present the North Georgia News Now Community Calendar. Stay tuned. Welcome back to North Georgia News Now. Here are some things going on in the area. Hamilton Healthcare System will host this Friday's Off the Rails concert at Bird Park in downtown Dalton. Attendees should expect a blend of Americana and country music featuring Rachel McIntyre Smith at 6:30, followed by Randy Steele and High Cold Wind at 7:30, and headliners Noah Guthrie and Good Trouble at 8:30 p.m. Bring your chairs and blankets for good music in the park. Be sure to visit Hamilton's tent before 8:30 for giveaways and ice cream from the Sweet Spot. Plus, register to win a Masterbuilt 30-inch digital electric smoker. Artistic Civic Theater presents Mary Poppins, opening in less than a week. The beloved Disney film turned magical musical features classic songs, a timeless story, and magic for the entire family. The production includes a cast of 50 performers, an enormous spinning set, and electrifying music. Show times are at 7:30 p.m. on August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and 2 p.m. on August 4th. This production will be held at Hammond Creek Theater. Tickets are now available at actdalton.com. Go ahead and mark your calendar for the second annual Fall Oweens Giving, set for Saturday, September 21st from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. at Burr Performing Arts Center. Expect an awesome, fun-filled day with crafts, artists, and food vendors, plenty of sweets, activities, and music. The North Georgia Fried Pickle Festival is set to take place on October 5th and 6th at the North Georgia Fairgrounds. Shop with over 175 craft and commercial vendors. Enjoy a variety of food, including pickles, a petting zoo, pony rides, inflatables, trackless train rides, face painting games, entertainment, and more. Special guests include Twiggy, the water skiing squirrel, and Turtle Man live action. Admission is $5 and parking is free. If you'd like to include your event in our community calendar, send an email to info@wdnntv.com with event in the subject line. Be sure to follow WDNN TV on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. See you soon.